Mulenge. Justice. We need justice. We need justice. We need justice. We need justice.
So thank you everyone for coming. I just want to give a background of the conflict and the genocide that's happening to my people in South Kivu. For the past 4 years, the Banyamulenge community in the whole plateau of South Kivu in the DRC have been under constant attacks from coalition from Mai and foreign armed groups with the complicity of the government. Hundreds have been killed along with countless acts of violence including rape, homes being burned, theft of properties including more than 125,000 cattle have been stolen from people in Bijombo, Mikenke, Minembwe region. These attacks have forced the Banyamulenge people from their villages, from South Kivu to Minembwe in DRC, where people live under siege with constant threats of ethnic cleansing. This is a terrible humanitarian crisis in Minembwe where thousands of people are suffering from hunger, lack of shelter, and basic necessities of life. The current situation, during the last 2 weeks, violence has escalated in South Kivu for those who are living in the whole plateau stretching from Katobwe, Kahololo, and Rurambo. Over 3,000 families, people have been forced to flee their homes for the fear of their lives from the Mai attacks. The entire Banyamulenge community from the whole plateau, stretching from Katobwe, Kahololo to Rurambo, were forced to walk over 95 miles through unsafe territories to gather in Bwegera for safety. Thousands of people are now trying to survive with limited and complete lack of basic living necessities. These internally displaced people are vulnerable to additional attacks in refugee camps. This happened before in a refugee camp called Gatumba, where my family had survived, where 166 people were killed. And also in Mikenke last year, where 6 people were also gunned down, all under the UN protection. So who's failing the Banyamulenge? The UN peacekeeping troop under MONUSCO, also known as the United Nations Organization for Stabilization Mission. They have failed to protect the innocent civilians from regular attacks. How are the 3,000 people attacked and forced to flee the area without MONUSCO troops knowing or coming to provide protection and support? Federal officials in the DRC continue to ignore the plea for prosecution and protection from violent militia that are not investigated and held to account. There is a failure to provide basic human needs of thousands Banyamulenge refugees, where our international organization, why can't they get through to people in such a desperation? So our request for Americans and also American officials, because we are Americans, we are Congolese Americans, okay? Yes. So this is very, very important to us. Please join our voices to warn the international community of what's happening to Banyamulenge. They're on the verge of another genocide that can be prevented. We request your support in our proposed congressional hearing in the House Foreign Affairs Committee. We have sent a letter already. We have already met with both subcommittees that are proposed. We are waiting for their answers. but they need to be pressured for some reason. There is also a follow-up proposal to hold a joint hearing, a joint congressional subcommittee hearing to address the current situation in Eastern DRC. Will you reach out to your representative and ask them for their support? Currently, our proposed hearing is being held by Representative Karen Bass, the chairwoman of the African subcommittee, and also the chairman of the international organization, Representative Castro of Texas. So what we'd ask all Americans is to call their local representative and ask them to voice their support for this hearing, because we think that this hearing will help in changing the policy towards minority protection in Congo. Otherwise, the cycle of violence will continue. Thank you so much. I have the script and I have the phone number. Should you want to call your representative before you leave here, I will gladly appreciate. I have the talking point for you to call and ask them to voice their support for this hearing. We would really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Adela,